Hello, welcome to the 24th day of June 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. I'm on an abandoned road in a bamboo forest, and there's an abandoned shed down there. Look at that. Anyway, this is a video that I do every morning, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life's objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the challenges and opportunities that I met. I go over my 8 objectives of my creed, and I prepare for the coming day. So let's begin. First, welcome to new subscribers. It's good to have you here. Quick disclaimer, this is a personal video. I talk about myself. I do talk about sensitive subjects, death, for example, which can be unsettling to some people. And thank you so much for your support. I appreciate your view and you're watching my video. And ooh, there's a raven up there. It's an old abandoned farm right up there. There they go flying along. Putt, right, monorail there. Anyway, and I do appreciate your support. Let's get started. So I'm going to do 3 things now. Talk about the last 24 hours. Then I'll go over, like I said, the creed and then the day. Yesterday was a good day. It feels more and more like work, in the best sense. I feel like I wake up with an ambition to do something worthwhile. That worthwhile thing being the running of my little business, my antique store. I set myself one goal a day, which is to list one item out of the dark bamboo forest into the open. The the listing of one item every day, and if I have orders to ship those items. So I guess that's technically 2 things. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. In the midst of all of that, I worked on what, for lack of a better term, could be considered marketing. The doorway is completely overgrown. But you could peek in if you got close. And I will one day. This is all farmland. It's overgrown. Green tea at one time. So yesterday was a good day. There weren't any particular challenges that I was met with, although I did feel yesterday all day long like I was on top of things, like I was one step ahead of any ambush element. Like nothing happened. It was like waiting all day for a surprise attack that never came. Now that might sound like a desperate way to live, but in fact I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't sitting there waiting, looking around for the attack. I was simply had my mind at the ready for the unexpected. Everything went as expected, so it wasn't a big deal. Of interesting note was the way that I'm driving now and the way that I'm living in slower motion to help and deal with which I mentioned before, my incompetence in Japan and my incompetence relative to aging. I'm dealing with that by just slowing everything down. That's having a really good yield and effect. Plus, just the fact of the recognition of my incompetence is really having a surprise effect. Now, remember, I only came up with the idea of recognizing my increasing relative incompetence in Japan over the weekend. So I've only had a couple of days of practice, but so far it's yielded really good results. I'm very pleased with that frame of mind. I'll keep it up. All right, as for the creed, consists of 8 objectives: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of my time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions relative to my creed, to recognize my true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. There goes the firefly. Now, as for today, I have the same objective. I do have an order to ship, and I'll list one item. Walking through spiderwebs. We're going through a piece of farmland here along the river. Spiderwebs. Oh, I'm covered in spiderwebs. So I'll do that as well. Also, I think I mentioned before, I'm working on piecemeal marketing by adjusting the videos that I've already released to better present my store. That's the plan for today. Nothing more. I think I reached the end, believe it or not, just 5 minutes in, and no comments. So I think I can close there for today. I'll head back and take care of this and get to work in earnest. Do morning exercise with the neighbors and start the day with a serious effort. Wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.